sure I focus up there.
Want to check the focus?
It's all around your face.
Perfect.
I'm really, you can tell I'm so yeah, so that's and then the tree just
It's 10.
okay. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
And then, what's the, are we starting at 10?
Well, we're starting to countdown at 10.
Oh, I've got a 17-second video to play, and then we'll come to you.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm ready.
Are we all set to go?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, places, everybody. Places. Good morning, and welcome to Stockmen's Park, in the heart of our beautiful, award-winning downtown Livermore. I am Livermore's Mayor, John Marchand, and we are here for our first ever virtual ribbon cutting as we open Stockmen's Park today. Today we are honored to have the color guard from the U.S. Army Livermore Recruiting Station. Ladies and gentlemen, please post the colors. Thank you. Thank you to the U.S. Army Livermore Recruiting Station. When we broke ground on Stockmen's Park, it was the 100th anniversary of the Livermore Rodeo. And at that time, I never imagined that we would have a ribbon cutting like this. As we look back, the year 2020 will be remembered with words such as unprecedented, resilient, and you're on mute. William Mendenhall, the man who founded our city, and Robert Livermore, the man for whom our community was named, were both stockmen and veterans of armed conflict. The park commemorates the contributions of the stockmen and the veterans of Livermore, Pleasanton, and Murray Township. In a future phase, we will be adding Veterans Park. I'd like to acknowledge the people that made this happen. The architect was RRM Design Group, Gina Chavez, manager of landscape architecture. From the Robert A. Bothman Construction Company, Gary Collier, site superintendent, Dennis Bethke, project manager, Victor Valentin, the junior project engineer. And I would like to acknowledge that when they were down here working, they were patronizing Livermore businesses. And this is what it's about. It's to support local business, and this is where our community is going to be gathering to, again, to be able to participate together and to support our Livermore businesses. I'd also like to recognize the City of Livermore staff, Community Development Director Paul Spence, our City Engineer Sherry Sheets, Dennis Alberian, Joel Waxdeck, Mike Stam, Rosie Ellert, and Joe Prime and the city's landscaping crew. It was a group effort, and I would also like to acknowledge the tremendous work and the lift that was done by the Livermore City Council. And they're here today as well. We have Vice Mayor Bob Werner, Bob Carling, Bob Coomber. Unfortunately, Trish Monroe could not be here today. I'd like to recognize the history of Stockmen's Park began with a promise that was made 58 years ago. And here to tell you that story is the man who put all those pieces together and made this park happen, and that was Vice Mayor Bob Werner. And we have his comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm really happy to be part of this celebration today. As you mentioned, it's been a long time coming. In 1962, the Livermore Rodeo Stockmen Association gifted 33 acres of the original rodeo site to the city for civic purposes, and at the time it explicitly excluded housing. And the one part of the land was reserved for a park to honor the stockmen and the veterans for their contributions to our heritage. Now, fast forwarding to 2017, Lanny Thompson of Interfaith Housing approached me because she noticed that there was a vacant lot on the Civic Center site, and she wanted to develop it for housing. But however, that was obviously a conflict. So in 2017, I asked Lanny to put together a meeting in July with the stockmen and representatives from the city so that we could resolve the situation. In the course of that meeting, Don Stasa, a rancher and member of the Livermore Rodeo Stockmen Association, suggested that yes, that was reserved for the park to honor them. However, it could be moved. It was at that point that I said, well, what about using the site that we're building downtown for a park? Everyone agreed that that made sense, and we began to pursue it. Being able to move the park to downtown turned out to be a win-win for everyone. The stockmen got their park and to honor them and the statue. The city was able to fulfill its long-standing obligation of 58 years. There was more senior housing made available on land that was otherwise not available. And to cap it all off, the city was able to credit $10 million against the affordable housing funds that were used to purchase the downtown site. So it all together was really good. And we left the meeting saying, we've got to pursue this idea. And what happened was the stockmen then went to their board of directors and got approval. And in January of 2018, the council unanimously approved us going forward with the project, which we are now here today to celebrate. So thank you. And now I would like to introduce Dave Finster of the Stockmen's Association will say a few words, and following him will be Don Stasa. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Bob. My name is Dave Finster. I'm a current director and past president of the Livermore Stockmen's Rodeo Association. And the first thing I'd like to do is thank you, Mr. Mayor, and the entire City Council and also the previous city council, because Steven Spadowski, you played a big role in this too. And Bob Warner, a special thanks has got to go out to you. You were kind of the architect of this and kind of guided us through this whole thing. It was really a community effort. We had so many people, outside groups, that wanted to get involved with this. From local businesses to just general community members. Starting off with David and Darcy Kent. You guys played a huge role in this. Carl Winty, Rusty Skinner. And then we had all kinds of groups get involved with it, from the Science Society Center, so Alan Berman, and then we go to Shakespeare. Lisa Tromovich, you played a huge role in getting all this through. And that's what really makes this special with this park, is it was truly a community effort. Everybody got involved from all different types of backgrounds and different walks of life, and we all came together for one common goal, and that was to get this park done. And then it goes back to the city. You finally fulfilled an agreement that our association made with the city back in 1962. So this many years later, we finally got the park done, and kudos to you for that. And also to Mr. Mayor, you've got to be proud of yourself when it comes to this. You've got the greatest staff there is. Because all through this, from the design of the park to the very beginnings with the lawyers, everything, all the people, all your staff was nothing but a pleasure to work with. So our hats go off to you from all of us with the Livermore Stockmen's Rodeo Association. We thank all of you guys for treating us so good through this whole process. Now, a little bit about the park. We wanted to have a park that was a community park, something that everybody could go to and enjoy. And we wanted, originally the park was supposed to be to honor the veterans from World War I, the veterans from Livermore, Pleasanton, and the Murray Township. Well, we also wanted to throw in there a little bit of history about Livermore, how this is an old ranching community. So when you walk around the park and you see all the brands, we got some brands in there that are 100 years old. We got new brands in there that have been just registered in the past few years. So there's a broad history in the park, and we wanted people from this town to not forget where the beginnings of the town come from. So hopefully we did that. Hopefully everybody can enjoy the park. And I know I forgot a few names to thank, but all of you that were involved with it, we truly thank you. We also have one board member who is a veteran. He's a Vietnam combat veteran, and this park probably means more to him than anybody on our board. And I'm going to introduce him now, and he can talk a little bit about the veteran side of it. So I'd like to introduce Don Stasa.
Good afternoon. My name's Don Stasa, and I'm a director, past president of the Livermore Stockmen's Rodeo Association. But more importantly to me, I'm a United States Marine veteran and very proud to be presenting our views on Stockmen's Park. When completed, this park will be beautiful. And we owe our thanks to the mayor, the city council, and the citizens for all of their hard work in making this park come to reality. Stockmen's Park's vision was started 50 years ago, but it was well worth the wait and meets every expectation that anyone's ever had for what this park should be. Livermore has changed over the last century. Our city is not the agriculture-based town that was established by our forefathers. During World War I, the government asked each city and town in the country to contribute to the Red Cross war effort. And so the stockmen in this town gathered together and organized the first Livermore Rodeo in order to get enough tax money to pay for the share of this town. Livermore was a poor town at that time, and this thing has lasted over a century. Livermore has less ties to agriculture and expanded to the business world, and it's easy to see the changes. I can remember when I was a young kid going downtown and seeing the stockyards and the cattle in the stockyards and thinking, geez, that'd be great to grow up to be a cowboy. You could still see cowboys and ranchers and farmers in the town, but people don't notice them as such. They just think that they're dressed up for some reason. And they don't realize the contribution that was given to this town from the agriculture society. I truly believe it is important for everyone living in our city and valley to have the knowledge of our past history that was given to us by our forefathers and veterans. This park represents the dedication from all of them and honors their accomplishments. Please take a close look at our statue. You will see an original younger looking rancher, clothed from 1918. He is preparing to go to war to defend our country, exchanging the cowboy hat for a helmet. He's not a Hollywood cowboy, he's one of our valley cowboys. Stockmen's Park is dedicated to our citizens to enjoy and be proud of their heritage from the forefathers and veterans who have defended this country then and now. I want to thank you. I also like to mention that the Stockmen's Association is continuing to the tradition of the Stockmen by contributing to the VFW, the Twin Valley Breast Cancer Society, and providing scholarships to young people graduating from high school and furthering their career in the agriculture industry. This park means so much to the Stockmen as well as the veterans. I can speak from both sides on that. To go out there and look at that statue gives me chills. It just brings back what this country come from, and I think it's important that our children and even some of our adults realize where the history of this town is and what we owe thanks to. And the veterans is a very big part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor Werner, Dave, and Don. As you can see, the focal point of this park is Jay Warren's sculpture of a young stockman taking off his cowboy hat and bravely replacing it with a World War I doughboy helmet. This recognizes the connection between the Livermore Rodeo Stockmen's Association and the First World War. This image was Don Stace's idea, and when he suggested it, to be honest, I couldn't imagine it. But what the artist has done here has taken that which is inexpressible and made it unforgettable. With that, I would like to present the Stockmen's Association with this original model of the Stockman, recognizing the completion of this promise that was made 58 years ago. So the original model of the Stockman will go to the Livermore Rodeo Stockmen's Association. At the same time, I'd like to recognize Don Stasa, Dave Finster, who is the president of the Rodeo Association, and I would like to present him with the original sign. Dave, you remember this from when we had the groundbreaking for Stockmen's Park, when we originally staked our claim to this site. Dave, I would like you to have this. So now let's hear from the rest of our council members.
Welcome to Stockmen's Park. I hope each of you has the opportunity to visit and enjoy the newest park in downtown Livermore. I also hope you have time to reflect on the memorials representing the men and women who have served in our armed forces. Also take an opportunity to look at the livestock brandings around the Stockmen's Park area, representing the rich ranching history of our community. Again, welcome to Stockmen's Park.
Good morning and welcome to Stockmen's Park, which we are here to talk about today for a little bit. I am so pleased to see it and how it's coming along, and looking forward to it being open and letting people sit in the grass and do things. What really strikes me about this is that we've acknowledged our heritage in Livermore. The brands in the pavement here of all the ranches around the valley will guide you back to the statue behind me, which will, the Stockmen going off to war in World War I. And it's a very moving statutory tribute. And I I love this. I've been looking forward to doing this and seeing the green grass, and this is my first look as well. So I'm proud to be here, proud that we got this through, and I look forward to when it finally opens up and we can all enjoy it together.
I am so excited to be here today. 3 years ago, as we as a city were contemplating having this take place, I spoke at a city council meeting, as did my granddaughter Ella. She was 6 then, she's 9 now. In that 3 years, we have seen so many changes. This is so wonderful to see take place. I speak here on behalf of all the generations to come who will enjoy this park that represents all of the diversity and the history of what Livermore has been, is now, and will be. When I walked in the gate this morning into this new structure and saw the statue and saw the grass and realized that after 3 years of wanting this to take place, we now have Stockmen's Park, I was so excited. I'm here now with my granddaughter, Ella. 3 years ago, we stood in front of City Council and she spoke saying, I want a park so that I can play while I'm still a child. She's 9 now. She's still a child. We have Stockmen's Park. Let's go forward to the future together.
Well, thank you to all the council members, and thank you for your comments, and thank you for making this happen. It was by working together that we made this happen. The community coming together to fulfill a promise made 58 years ago. So with that, let's take a quick tour of the park. The first thing that you'll see when you come into the park, you see these brands. There's 204 brands in the park representing 100 years of Livermore ranching history. The brands that you see as you come in, these are the brands of the families that are on the board of directors of the Livermore Stockmen Rodeos Association. You'll see these 2 pads on either side. These are going to be restaurant pads, restaurant and retail pads. So again, more coming down, come down, get something to eat, something to drink. Of course, you see the vast expanse of the park. This is where families can come down, they can have a picnic, they can throw a frisbee, play some catch. One of the other things that we're planning on doing is we're working with a couple of the local restaurants, because this is COVID. There's going to be dining around the park. So several restaurants have expressed an interest in actually dining, having food service around the park. This is Blacksmith Square, and there's also going to be an extension of Blacksmith Square. Again, more retail, possibly more restaurants. Up here, you'll see a stage. That's going to be the Black Box Theater. That's by the Livermore Shakespeare Festival. They're going to be putting a Black Box Theater here, and that's going to play out into the park. So families can gather, they can watch musical performances, watch live performances. And over here, this part of the park, is going to be the Quest Science Center, where you're going to have families can come in, young people can come in, demonstrations about science, and learn about what really makes this world and this community tick. So it's going to be very exciting to have the Quest Science Center. This is something when we talked with our community, they felt that these cultural amenities were going to be very important. As you come up to the statue of the Stockmen, around the Stockmen in this circle, those are the brands of the families of the veterans that served in this community, that served our nation, and served the Livermore, Pleasanton, and Murray Township. So the statue is 10 feet tall, weighs about 700 pounds. But I think it really does a remarkable presentation of the gratitude that we show for the veterans in the community. That's about it. Come on down, though. Read the story. This is from the, as I said, this is the 100th anniversary of when we had the first rodeo. That was done in 1918, and it was to raise the money for the Red Cross assessment that was made on the city of Livermore. And the Livermore Stockmen's Association decided that they were going to have a rodeo to raise the money for that assessment. It was $1,200, and they raised over twice that. And the idea came to start the Stockmen's Rodeo Association and to have the world's fastest rodeo every year after that, except this year. One of the fun facts is in 1921, one of the rodeo clowns was Charlie Chaplin. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to the other community organizations that made this park happen. So while they're talking, we're going to head on back to the ribbon cutting. So please listen, and thanks to all that made this happen.
I'm Lisa Tromovich here on behalf of Livermore Shakespeare Festival. Congratulations, City of Livermore and Livermore Stockmen's Rodeo Association. And thank you, City Council and staff, for working so hard to realize the citizens' vision for Stockmen's Park. The horseshoe-shaped green, watched over by the veteran statue, will open when the pandemic allows, finally commemorating our ranch heritage and area veterans. It will, in years to come, also celebrate our arts and science cultures as we raise the funds to build the facilities. We look forward to gathering as a community to celebrate community at Stockmen's Park.
Hi, I'm Alan Burnham of Quest Science Center. We are honored to participate in this ribbon cutting for Stockmen's Park. The Stockmen's generosity and perseverance has provided us, collectively, the opportunity to bring together our cultural heritage of ranching, winemaking, arts, and science. These facilities, including our future building, will bring us experiences that help people understand each other, our history, and the important issues we face in the future. We hope to connect everyone to the value of science, to inspire and nurture everyday exploration, and to promote lifelong engagement with science and technology, and to create a place where everyone belongs. Congratulations on this milestone.
Hi, I'm Jake Anderson, and I'm a member of the Livermore Planning Commission. The Planning Commission and I are extremely excited to see this park come to be. This park has been carefully designed to honor Livermore's Western heritage and serve our great community. Livermore is a special place with a wide range of different people, and throughout our history, we've not focused on what makes us different, but what brings us together. And this park is the epitome of that. This park finally came to be because people with different views and desires put those aside and came together to do something that couldn't have been done alone. Stockmen's Park brings together all the elements of our diverse community: the arts, the sciences, the wine and hospitality industry, our Western heritage, and most importantly, our history of honoring our veterans. This is connecting our past to our future. This park is going to be a very important place in our city's future history. Thank you.
Stockmen's Park is a wonderful addition to Livermore downtown, and it has enabled the construction of senior housing on Pacific Avenue. As president of Interfaith Housing, I was seeking land for a much-needed affordable senior apartment community in 2017. The city owned the perfect site on Pacific Avenue, but the Stockmen had final say over its use due to the 1962 deal involving their Civic Center land donation. In July 2017, I met with John Marchand, Bob Warner, Dave Finster, and other LSRA members, and Bob suggested we create Stockmen's Park downtown in exchange for housing. Now, Interfaith Housing is working on plans to build 140 senior apartments there. Thank you, Livermore and the Stockmen.
Hello, Livermore. It's Rochelle Snedeker, and I'm Executive Director for Livermore Downtown. And what a great opportunity to be able to say thank you, Mayor Marchand. Thank you, Vice Mayor Bob Warner. Thank you, City Council folks. Mark Roberts, City Manager, all of you, you have made sure that something amazing was going on while we were sheltering in place, and it's going to be another beauty spot in the downtown that we get to gather as a community when we can gather again soon. Look at that statue's face and realize that that is a symbol of who we are in Livermore. We know when to take one hat off and put the other one on when it's time to really join forces together to fight for our community and our quality of life. So see you downtown when we're able to be together again. Love you, Livermore.
Hey, you know what? We could have.
Okay, before they retire the colors, you guys want to take some pictures with our guys?
Sure.